Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 with the Total War mod, and we are justifying war against Yugoslavia. Which will happen in about 32 days. Let's speed this up. Hey, thanks for hosting, Arno. Okay, Finland rejects war with the Soviets. Okay, and the Soviets now have gotten Estonia. We'll see how they handle this. I'm watching it. Okay. Okay, well, see, like I said, I very much said that Italy may, and I just want to check that out. Okay. Okay, so now I guess they've done this probably a very short time. So now it has happened, and I wasn't saying it wouldn't happen, but I just thought time, place, apply to, okay, to, oh, yeah, they join. Okay, so now we have Italy joins the Axis. Now, let's see how this works out. Italy joins the Axis, yes. Stronger together. I am not going to send any more reinforcements down to get them sunk because of what's going on here. We've already lost a very strong core. And Italy now has a two-front war. Oh, you mouse wheel out. It goes crazy at times. Look at all this fort spam. Oh god, Soviet Union and Finland have signed a white peace, okay. Which, let's change the border, of course. Ah, Warzone! Good to see you. What's this, a German streamer who actually signs the Molotov Pact? Well, yeah. I'm a German player, playing Germany, but I'm not German, yeah. Taking over Skoda. Sure. What's wrong? It's a good idea to do that. Keep Soviets sweet, keep trade going with the Soviets. Germany needs that. Okay, well, we could do this 42 days, but yeah. Well, maybe we'll cancel let's cancel that. Diplomacy, Yugoslavia. Cancel justifications. We'll follow whatever their path is instead of going in early. I like to go in early just to get it done because I know history well enough to know that things don't go well. What I'm wondering is, will we get an event to form the Africa Corps? Or do we have a national focus to do that? Africa Corps, okay. 14 days. Trade of Yugoslavia. No longer effects of this program. Okay. We're getting those. More research. Different icons, I'm not used to them. Okay, so we've got Stugs, we got 4 Panzer IVs of a better quality. 1940. Yeah, we'll do better. Anti-aircraft weapons and well, let's do better mortars. Oh, we still have more research. Cool. Okay. Well, we'll do desert warfare equipment if we're getting the Africa Corps. Hello, the Night Reaver. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Well, you'll see, and I'm doing a rant earlier about how unhistorical we're playing the Total War mod, about how unhistorical this mod is. But there's generally good reason to do the historical things. Okay, we have Vichy France up there battling. Medium assault guns. Improved artillery. Up here at the top. Okay, so we got improved artillery. We'll improve our anti-tank guns, so when we face heavier tanks. Now, let's look at our production numbers. Well, we need more rubber, but we are producing lots of rubber factories, so we are doing that. We're also fixing up some infrastructure, which we now have a little bit more. We'll increase some military factories. There we go. Current needs. Radio equipment, still transport, light armor, flying boats. Okay, flying boats, naval bombers. But those all require, well, do they require rubber? Yes, rubber. Don't know why a flying boat requires rubber. They don't have any tires. Yeah, I know there's some rubber inside the aircraft, but I don't know if that's enough to make it a resource. Because all kinds of things can have a little bit of rubber in them. Okay. Yeah, the fighters need more. That's why we're not building more. Let's. No, we're gonna continue with these guys. I think they're a little cheaper to build. If we're gonna have light tanks, let's just have the damn light tanks. But here, we're gonna improve these. We'll do that. That doesn't take any rubber. Okay, that's good. And artillery, I think we have enough artillery, so we will start making better artillery. Yeah, Tippett. I like Total War's tech tree in general. I like, which is based off of Black Ice, which is a bit more detailed. I like that stuff. There's two Anglo-Irish trade warrants. There's two good ways, in my opinion, to do this. Let me look here. Are there decisions we want to do? Integrate German territory into the Reich. Increase luxuries. Control pause. Party is fascist. Okay, we'll do that. We're not doing Case Anton now. Okay. In my opinion, there's two good ways to do this. One is the standard way, and that is to say, research fighter, and then come in here and well, let's come over here. We're not going to do it, but well, let's click here. Come to the fighter. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Let's cancel that. I meant to create a variant. Come here and create a variant. This is the standard sort of you know, Hearts of Iron 4 way, and you sort of go, hey, we're not going to increase range because, you know, that has its downsides. You know, so you increase range, reliability is reduced down, and so, you know, we're not going to increase range. We're going to increase engine for more speed, and sort of in a way model the 109. That's one way to do this, and that's a good way to do this. And so that's how you have differences between a an early Mustang. You know, once you get to a you know, P-51, once you research the Mustang, and it's an okay aircraft, but then, you know, you add the big acrylic bubble cockpit window on it, so you can see around more, and you know, they make them in the U.S., but the British, you know, the Rolls-Royce or whatever Merlin engine in it, and improved fuel tanks. So now they're much more powerful of a aircraft, still basic same airframe, and they have much greater range, so they can, you know, you range it out to get to Berlin. And so, yeah, that's a good way to sort of create a create a historical type. The other way, which I personally like better, the other is good, but I personally like better, is to sort of have fixed historical models that someone has taken the time to go in, and all those various capabilities here are all figured out, and you very well may allow, because there may not be quite enough difference, or there may or may not be, depending on how you look at this, is how many, going back to here, and fighters, how much of the different changes between the models of 109s, and if you do this here, then I think the variants should be locked down. But if you're not doing the Emil and then the F and then the G, and if there's, and I'm not enough of an expert, if there's enough, like if there's like an F2 and an F3 and an F4 before you got to the G, then okay, then you can do something that equals the small improvements or changes. That's cool. And which they have come in here is which ones are allowed to be a carrier fighter, because theoretically you could turn just about anything into a carrier fighter. Not that it would make a good carrier fighter, but it would be functional. And so those are the two sort of ways to do this, and I like the second one best. Come on. Mostly we're just watching this to see, right now at least, to see what happens and why this is a bad idea. Not just to slam them, but it is sort of a bad idea. Yes, I should have done the Africa Corps first, but I didn't. So I don't know if we'll be able to do the Africa Corps. They're probably going to get Tripoli, because they made their gameplay mod instead of a historical mod. More radio equipment. We need more radio equipment. And we now have more civil factory capabilities. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Alright, oh well, yes, the Italians are moving that way. Big capital shipyards. Yeah, I guess we're gonna do big screen shipyards. Screening ships. Now, has this blocked out? Yep. Tripoli needs to be owned by Italy, so I can't even do this. Octun and Minen. Desert support unit. Defense plus. Okay. Yep, unless Italy takes that back. Legionary Romania cedes Bessarabia to Soviet Union. Okay, pressure Yugoslavia. Okay, well now what? Now I should have done that before. We'd done that the 7 days or 14 days. We might have been able to complete it in time. Oil for weapons with, and this is what we're trying to push Yugoslavia into our faction. 28 days. Coup d'etat in Yugoslavia. Now, Soviet Union claims Bessarabia. Okay, do we have... Okay, we now have... There we go. Available war goal. Why did it pump up there? I don't know. So, let's... We're going to declare war, conquer focus. Okay, so we're now at war with Yugoslavia. Battle your way through these forts. Come down this way. Alright, there we go. You guys push there. Oh, one of you come over here and hold that province. From 2 places. Okay, Legionary Romania seeks to join the Axis. Okay. Legionary joins, we're good. Okay, let's grab some of these SS units. They're going to come down this way to here, to here. Oh, hey Toy Jet. Doing well today. Good to see you. Yeah, we're not even using any bombers really in the Yugoslav campaign. I sort of don't think it's worth it, but mainly we're using the fighters. Over Britain. Okay. This side of the river with you guys. Yeah, it's we're in the 2.5 hours in. North Africa lost. Okay. Just to let everyone know, I try to start at 7 a.m. my time here in California. So you can figure out what time that is in your part of the world. I try to start. Sometimes, like last week, I announced that it was an 8 a.m. start just because of my work. And sometimes other things are up. But I try to let you know if I'm going to be significantly late. And I say try to because, hey, if I'm 10 minutes late, I'm not stressing over it. I try not to be late, but I don't want you guys who do want to show up to be waiting around to see if I show up or whatever. But things happen too. You know, we all... Oh, we're going to slow this up just a little too fast for me to keep up with. Units. Okay, you guys come here. Oh, I can't. No, yeah, you come there. Okay. You drive through the hills here. You guys shift. Now we come down to Sarajevo. Well, one of you stay behind. The rest go the sea to cut off more troops. Now, I think this is a good time here for another sort of talk. Yugoslavia and World War II. Well, I'll say this: Yugoslavia is an artificial state. It's created out of the Treaty of Versailles, at least overall. In short, it's the product of the end of World War I. For a while, I think it's called the Greater Kingdom of the Serbs, Croats, and blah, 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 and changes to Yugoslavia. So it's never something that either the... Because we do... The reason I say it's artificial in that it's not the Serbs naturally conquering the region and other peoples and are strong enough to hold it. It's not a natural cultural unity like France, you know. And we can talk about the Basque people. We can talk about the Bretons. Those are two different people with different non-French languages. Non-French, because the Breton, I mean, most people in Britain speak French, if not everybody in Britain speaks French. But the old Breton language, which is still spoken somewhat, it's dying, of course, unfortunately, but is a Gaelic, Scots, Irish, Welsh, I think much closer to Welsh base language, not the French language based off of, you know, Latin. So it's an entirely different language group of people. Basques are even weirder sort of language group people. I don't mean that Basques are weird, just that the language group is sort of unknown to some degree. So, you know, but most of the people in France really identify as French, and so that's a natural state. Yugoslavia is not a sort of like Austro-Hungarian Empire in that it conquers and takes the territory, nor is it a a natural ethnic state. It's more like, hey, it's given to you guys, and everybody else is exhausted, and you get to have the land. So it's never really this cohesive sense of a nation. That's sort of what I mean by an artificial state. Now, that's how it's created. In World War II, with the fall of France, Hitler thinks, and much of the world thinks, that the German Reich is here to stay for the foreseeable future. Not that, 200 years from now it's still going to be, the Nazi party ruling in France, or the 1,000-year Reich. Not that it's necessarily going to be that, but it's here to stay. Whether it's going to, conquer Britain or just simply sign a peace agreement or what, people didn't know, and what was going to be happening with the Soviet Union, people didn't know. That is all very real, shall we say. So Hitler thinks by pressuring Yugoslavia, which is hungrily looked at by Hungary, and I did do that, like we saw here for this. Italy would like to get some of the territory to reform its Roman Empire, the coastal parts mainly. I don't, and I'm not saying Mussolini would turn down, but he's not like hungrily looking for, hinterland Serbia. It's more the coast. Bulgaria had fought earlier on wars, sometimes allied with Turkey, sometimes against Turkey, in sort of, the Balkans wars before World War I. Who gets what piece of territories down here. So Bulgaria is sort of like looking at getting territory. Romania, don't know that it lost any territory to Yugoslavia, and I'm not sure if it really was long-term objective goals to get territory from Yugoslavia. So there's a lot of people wanting pieces of Yugoslavia. Now, so Hitler pressures Yugoslavia partially on the idea of, hey, if you join us, we won't carve you up, because they were easily watching what's happening to Czechoslovakia and to Romania being carved up, that if you join us, you won't have that happen to you. And so there's good reason for the Yugoslavs to want to do that, to keep that from happening. But here's, in my opinion, I've long thought that had Italy stayed neutral, then you have war with Britain and France, and it's concentrated here. And even if it is a two-front war, because, we talk about two fronts. There's a three-front war in World War II for Germany. There's the Eastern Front, the Mediterranean Front, and the Western Front. It really is. And where it sort of blurs its lines, the invasion of France later on. Is that a Mediterranean front? Yes. Is it a Western front? Yes. What is it? But had you kept the sort of Mediterranean front out of the war, had Mussolini stayed as a friendly neutral, sending in whatever resources, supplies, whatnot to Germany, and trading, making money off of that, and staying at peace, it would have helped out Germany. But if you don't have that, if you would have kept Yugoslavia and Greece as being a, even a unfriendly neutral, meaning no British, no American troops, no American or British overflights of bombers, whatnot, you would have really reduced down the scope of the war and allowed for a much better focus on the Mediterranean in dealing in the critical parts of the war, North Africa, because if you have Italy in it, and defending Italy and the French Mediterranean coast. So Yugoslavia is just a big mistake for Hitler to press on. Yes, I actually agree, IKB. It's Yugoslavia is Serbia's reward for starting the First World War. Because Yugoslavia starts the First World War by its assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. That's how the war starts. You know, and there is some bungling by the Austrians on how they go about starting it. The sort of delays, it sort of pulls back the appearance of the Austrian aggression, pulled because they had been being aggressive towards Serbia for years before, but pulls back the aggression from Syria from the immediacy of basically, and I like to describe Archduke Ferdinand is more or less the equivalent of the vice president of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. He's the heir apparent. He's the next guy in line. And so once you assassinate him, and they had very good evidence that it was, the Black Hand assassins that the Serbs sort of supported, but it was very much seen as a Serbian operation. Hungarian puns. Okay, good. Yes. Always good for a good few bad puns. Yeah, the Serbs definitely have caused a lot of misery in the world by their actions. Okay, so we're in Sarajevo. Well, you guys go up into the mountains. Don't like sending panzers into the mountains, but hey, they're there. And we're moving up some of the infantry armies. You guys attack there. These guys are all cut off, so, well, we'll let the Italians deal with them at the time. Okay, you guys, 3 divisions. Let's send 3 divisions there. The rest this way, well, 1 that way. Get them from 2 flanks. Oh, Italy's already in. Italy's in. They're well fighting the Yugoslavs. Oh, what am I doing? No. You come here. I'm trying to get these guys to come here. These guys come here. No problem, Arno. Give me your advice, because I quite honestly, and sometimes I'm surprised, there's some of the stuff I'm missing it. I'm not seeing on the screen that are caught by viewers. You know, whether that you call it a mistake or just not seeing an opportunity. Breaking up this big doom stack. Still trying to keep some concentrated strength. Yeah, kill the pocket, kill the pocket. Push down into there. And just again, announcement to those who are here. Well, we'll be playing something tomorrow on YouTube. Haven't quite settled what games. Probably some War Thunder at some point, but you know, starting at 7 a.m. my time. And I will likely be playing, nothing set yet, but I'll likely be playing on Slytherin stream on Thursday at 11 a.m. my time. Again, you can figure out where you are in the world if you want to catch me there. Probably be Strategic Command. I'm saying probably because nothing's been set, but so far they've been contacting me about Monday. Well, do you want to stream sometime this week, and would Thursday or Wednesday be good, and do you want to continue their series? And I'm going, yes. And so it's just, I mean, this isn't a complaint. It's just they're not necessarily organized enough to know today or Friday to know what's happening next week. So I'm not sure of it. It's just that. So if you want to catch me doing that, you can. And next weekend, probably for Saturday and Sunday, Saturday on Twitch, Sunday on YouTube, I will be streaming. I think it'll be out Man the Guns DLC, straight Hearts of Iron, no mods, just because mods won't. Yeah, I mean, there's some mods. I think my Tanganyika mod is still because I made it to be very contained and not have to be updated. I think, so there's mods like that would work, but I'm not planning on using any. Just Man the Guns. We're going to looking at a naval pale. Hello, Warrior Donut. Good to see you here. Yeah, same time as the last stream on Slytherin. I believe. I'm just, if the slot is open and they ask me, I will be doing it. There may be other considerations going on that I don't know for Slytherin. But obviously that is not in my control. But it's a likely to happen. I don't see any main reason why it wouldn't happen, but we'll take a look at the time. Also, we'll be playing Man the Guns. I'll be doing naval power, I think. So I don't think Germany, though Germany with sea mining and other things look like really fun to play naval stuff with Germany. But maybe Britain is high on the list of sea warfare, but others are on the possibility list as well. Sure, no problem. Love to, and Yugoslavia has capitulated. Love to either see, hey, thanks for following the channel. Love to see either how to play or how not to play the game. Who else are we at war with right now? This isn't giving a good, okay. Dutch East Indies. I'm looking for. Well, this would probably be easier. I'm just making sure none of these guys are at war with me right now. Okay. So we have crushed them. Because of the mod we're playing, we're seeing Italy being crushed down here, and we can't really get there to support them. So that looks like a no Imperial Germany, no Italy. Italy, and the one thing that's coming in, there's so much coming in this deal. Free. Some of the stuff is in the free update. Some of the stuff is in the DLC. I can't tell you right offhand what's what. So just going to sort of refer to the DLC. There's so much coming in, including sea terrain, which is a new thing. Like land terrain, it's sea terrain. So shallow seas are different than deep seas in how they affect things. It's there's a lot of nuances going on with what they're doing, and it's really adding to the game. As you can see, I like NATO-style counters. I wish we would go back to the Hearts of Iron 3 style counters entirely and get rid of these big giant men. But that's a personal taste from me. Right now, especially once the new DLC comes out, trust me, the biggest problem with Hearts of Iron 4 is its bad AI, and it still has a bad AI. Okay, military factories free. We still have 16 of those, so we're going to build more radios. I know it doesn't fully get the 5 used up. Oh yes, no, we're not. Hey Django, good to see you. Yeah, I'm not going to send any more units down to there. Unfortunately, because Vichy was in the war and there were a few British units already down here when Vichy was formed, we've lost Tripoli prior to doing the national focus, which requires owning Tripoli, to get an Africa Corps, which I presume would put units down there, but that's done. So whether I made a mistake or good choice in not doing that, I don't know. And for a while, I don't know if you were here, Django, this was German territory, and this sort of the surrender of Belgium, this was given over to Germany. This mod is, in my opinion, unplayable. It's fort spam everywhere. There's supposedly god-awful amount coming up in the Soviet Union. But yeah. Yeah, Warrior Donut, I totally get that about being overburdened. I like to play, as you can see, without using the battle plans. Boy, blanking on that for a second. One, because I've never seen them follow my plans well. You know, if I plan a good, surrounding pincer movement, they never seem to follow that well, or intelligently, or anything like that. I could, if I could draw really cool plans and have the AI follow them, I would consider doing it. I like the idea of having to plan and prepare a naval invasion or an airborne invasion, because those are something that take pre-planning for it. I do sort of get the idea of invasion preparation planning, or defensive planning to dig in. I get some of that. So part of that, and part of it is because I'm an old player from, we have leftover British troops here, so we need to take those guys out before they start causing trouble. Because I'm an old, war game player, I like to micromanage my units. But if you don't, that's cool. If the battle plans worked, in Poland and Eastern Prussia, well, no, I haven't built infrastructure there, but I'm not planning on going to the Soviet Union in this game. I don't think I'm getting that far, because we're gonna be playing Man the Guns next week, and so we're not getting into the Soviet Union with this game. So so doing the battle plans is cool. The naval and air, I actually find it fairly easy. I understand what you're saying about getting overwhelmed, but if you sort of take the time and sort of to some degree, because we can look at the air, what we've done here, and plan it out so that you have more or less enough stuff. Yeah, I do get to the idea, like I intentionally, because I didn't expect to need any air power in taking Yugoslavia. So they're just going to overwhelm it with the forces. But you can plan out the operational stuff, and I like the idea that they'll keep feeding in replacement aircraft as needed to control the regions that you're doing. So if you do a sort of a good setup job, to some degree, it sort of takes care of itself. Yeah, say as you move deeper into the Soviet Union, you need to move air forces up to cover things like that, and there are stuff to do. And you know, there's reasons to play a Slytherin Matrix game that is more focused. You know, if you want to invade the Soviet Union and you want to do it in detail, get Gary Grigsby's War in the East, or something that War in the West, or whatever. Pick something that focuses on it, because I've actually, long before Hearts of Iron was ever created, I sort of created, before computers could handle it, what I would want a grand strategy World War II game to be. And one of them is sort of here in a way, is that if I turned over to a naval minister the naval warfare, depending on who I picked, he would follow a strategy so I could sort of ignore it, and he would just try to make reasonably good choices at doing things. So to have an AI manage that. But what's really coming out is neat is that you can exclude sea zones in the new version. So Germany can do convoys. Like, you can, instead of like, oh, well, we're going to trade with Japan, and it's going to like try to run a convoy right through the English Channel or something, and right by there you could, oh, well, we're going to try to trade with Japan. So exclude the sea zones so that you're just moving through here, this sea zone, maybe around here, especially while, they're at peace, and try to route the convoys around. Obviously, this is too narrow, and sea zones get a little too big, in my opinion, especially like this damn sea zone, the Baltic from here to here, one zone. Yeah, I hate that, because I can't put air to fully cover any one area. So I can't even fully cover this area if I wanted to. But that's another issue, whether sea zones are here or not, but and whether they're well portioned out. But so that you can do some of that stuff, they're coming up with mine warfare, so that you could, say, mine the area around Malta, mine this sea zone, and make it very difficult for shipping to get through, enemy shipping to get through, and that type of thing. So that can be really good with what's coming up. Yes, just vanilla. Well, I normally do that, Django, when they first come out. One, because I want to show you and whoever else was watching what's in the DLC. And two, I want to give Black Ice Team and whoever else time to deal with at least, because whether they require the DLC or not, but at least the free elements of the upgrade of the mods, so that they can come out. So I will be playing just the standard. Yes. Oh, Steel Division. Yes, I played some of it. I'm sort of stuck on some of the missions I haven't been able to get by, but I want to play more for the channel, and it's good. And Strategic Command, that's obviously, I think you were over on the Slytherin channel, if I remember correctly, the other day, is really good too. I mean, there's really good things I love about both Hearts of Iron 3 and Hearts of Iron 4, and there's really good things about Strategic Command, and they do have a overlapping interest group, that we like this grand strategy type games, but they do have different focuses, and they both sort of do what they do. Yeah, you can, got lots of stuff. I'm just going through the chat. Got lots of stuff on my YouTube channel, and you can see lots of Hearts of Iron 4 and 3, and see what you like, and see if you can, pick up anything. Yes, SE Strategic Command. Use the battle plans, and you can assign aircraft. Yes, you can assign aircraft specifically if you use the battle plans to a general, and they will support the operations of their units. Steel Divisions, Oh, I played micro armor and HO scale armor back when I was like 7 years old with adults. Played, Panzer Blitz, the board games, and Avalon Hills, Third Reich for forever. Oh, I go way back at playing this stuff. Steel Division, I've heard, which is a French-based game. They've about half of their staff was suing them for underpaying them less than the legal amount in France, so they fired that half of the staff. I don't think anybody has shown any of the game footage from the new version of Steel Divisions. Everything that I've seen from the new Steel Division. So I wouldn't put in, if you've already pre-ordered, you pre-ordered, but I wouldn't pre-order anything from them. I know because they're published by Paradox. I think the new version is going to be, but they're not a Paradox production company. Everything that I know about this. So, because as you guys know, I'm well acquainted with some of the Paradox people. And so they're having really serious staffing problems. And the footage I've seen looks to be a non-gameplay, sort of just cool looking video footage that I don't think is gameplay. So be careful about Steel Divisions 2. I'm not saying it's going to be bad or it's not going to be good, which are two different things. You can just be okay. I don't know. The idea of the Eastern Front and all that sounds really cool. I've liked playing Steel Divisions. Like I say, I've sort of hung up on a few of the scenarios and just busy doing other gaming. So I haven't really been playing much Steel Divisions for the channel or myself, but I like the game. I think I like that it's very, very realistic. Now, of course, part of it is they're using all the photo recon maps of this area that were highly photographed leading up to that. I don't know how realistic I'm sure, in looking at the footage, and I'm sure they're going to make realistic style Eastern Front terrain. I don't know that it's going to be, the exact historical hedgerows in the exact locations as they are on the Western Front here. No, I don't know that they split. It's a French company, Eugene Systems, that has produced. There was I forget, War Game or something like that, an earlier game. They paired with Paradox to see. Paradox is both a there's Paradox Development Studio, PDS, and they develop games. Those are the people who I mostly know. Then there's Paradox Interactive. They are a games publisher, like the Cities game, whatever, the Cities game. That is made by a different company that Paradox Interactive publishes. They don't make the city building game. They don't make Steel Division. It's Eugene Systems Studios produces Steel Division that Paradox publishes. It's getting into some of that. So there's sort of a distinction there. So, and which can, of course, if things don't work out well, can bite Paradox in the butt if things crash and burn with a different studio. I've heard things on the internet that seem reliable sources, some stuff on it, and that there's stuff going on. So it's not a split. It's just oh, so you're saying they actually did split with? I'm sorry, I'm rereading this a little bit. Actually, did split with Paradox. Okay, that could be some of the problems. Yeah, that was one of the commentators was just saying, Toy Jet, that mostly that they're just making the same thing on the Eastern Front, that just for people who want to play Eastern Front stuff, whether that's good or bad. Okay, I'm not saying they won't deliver. I'm just saying that I've heard that they fired about half their staff, and which is never a good sign. Oh, their agreement has ended. Okay, I'm just reading through all this. Okay. So yeah, so that's just what I've heard. Obviously, I don't know all the details, but that there is problems within the company, and I'm not saying they're not going to deliver. I'm not saying it's not going to be good. Nothing I've said. I've just said be careful, and if you haven't pre-ordered, I wouldn't. But if you want to, you can. I have a policy of not pre-ordering games unless I don't care. Wolferos Studios, the people who make the Kaiserreich mod. No, sorry, not the Kaiserreich mod. The Great War mod for Hearts of Iron 4 are producing a World War One based game. I don't know if they're using the Hearts of Iron engine or if they're developing their own engine. I don't know, but a game that's going to be for sale, and they're doing a GoFundMe thing for people to do that. And so, if you want to fund them, with the anticipation of getting a copy of the game, if they've produced it, yeah, great. That's doing it because you want to help them out, but if it's not so much wanting to do to help them out, just doing it to do, then I normally wait until the game is released. Okay, well, we're going to end the episode here, not the stream, so you guys can just hang loose. But I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks for liking the video. If you haven't already, and you're still around, you must like the channel, so please hit the subscribe button. And of course, I love hearing from you, and you want to post comments, questions, what you think about this. Like I said earlier, we are probably, if you just jump to the end, going to be playing next week Man the Gun, so I don't know that we're going to continue this series. I do want your input on that, viewers. If enough of you are viewing and watching this after I do some of that, I can come back to this maybe, but I say maybe because I don't know if the update in the game will make this unplayable from the save or not. I don't know, but I may come back to it if there's enough demand. But to me, this is just unplayable junk at this point. Thanks so much.